Okay, this is a short little video on how to get started with Notability. So first, of course, you open your Notability app, and on the right-hand side is going to show, if you're selected in the All Notes section here, it's going to show all of your notes that you have within Notability. Your unfiled notes are going to be notes that you don't have designated to a specific location. And then you have your option of adding dividers, which would be here. I have abbreviated social studies. And then you have your option of adding subjects, which underneath social studies I've added notes. So one way to do that is to click on the plus sign up there at the top. And here is the divider section that I was talking about. You can set this up in a number of ways. I might choose to create a divider for each one of my classes. And then underneath my divider, it would allow me to narrow down my notes a little bit. So underneath science, I might create a subject that's for labs. And so all of my labs would then go in this area here. And I might create a separate subject there for homework. You could also just create your subjects. So math, science, social studies, language arts, things like that. Over here on the right, I'm going to select back up on my all notes. Over here on the right, you can sort your notes by name, modified date, or created date. This tool is really helpful. It will allow you to search keywords. So I know I did a Lewis and Clark one, and you'll notice that it highlights in the subject line the keyword that I was looking for. So I'm going to cancel that. And then you have your send to icon, so you can send notes places, and then this is your create a new note button here. Your settings options down here will allow you to auto back up to your Google Drive. You just have to put in your Google Drive information, and of course you can change the theme if you want to, get a little fancy with your notes there. And now you're ready to actually start using Notability. So I'm going to X out of here, and I'm going to go into my mail where I sent you a practice file, so Notability practice, and it's going to show up looking like this. It's a .note file, and because that's the Notability file format, when you select it, it'll ask you if you want to open it in Notability, and you'll just select Notability, and it'll pop open right in Notability for you. You can see the title up here at the top. I'm just going to go ahead and change that and just put my name after it. That's important for the students to know that they need to change the name of those files so that if they email them to you, you know whose file you're looking at. This little key here will take you back to your library. This, of course, is your undo arrow. This here is your send to, and we'll practice with that in a little bit. What I've done is created a series of tasks to complete so that you can practice using the different tools within Remarks. So step 1 says, just try typing your name in the yellow box. So if you select the text tool, which is the big T at the top, you can click anywhere on the page. But what's going to happen is it's going to give you your cursor on the left-hand side of the page, and you're only going to be able to type on the left side. Obviously, it's not inside that box. So I'm going to erase that. And if I press and hold, I have the option to add a text box. So I'm going to select text box. Now I can drag that text box into that yellow box there that was on the practice form and type my name. Now it said to type it in your favorite color. You can see you have your font tools down here at the bottom. So you can change the color, the size, and the font itself. Okay, step 2 is the pen tool. And the pen tool is a little tricky to get used to, but it's the second tool up there at the top after the T. If you press and hold on it, you have 2 options of pens, one more little like making it all the same size, and then to me this is more of like a calligraphy pen. Then you have your different sizes, and then you have, of course, your different colors. So I'm going to select blue, and it says to circle all the numbers. So I'm going to circle 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to get down the page, if I just swipe with one finger, notice it makes a big blue line on my page. So I'm going to undo that. You have to actually use 2 fingers to scroll down the page so that you can get to the rest of your numbers. It'll take a little getting used to, but it's a nice feature that it has. Okay, now I'm going to scroll back to the top. And the highlighter works the same. Number 3 is highlight each occurrence of the word the. So I'm going to click on that highlighter tool up there right in the middle. Again, if you press and hold, you have 2 different highlighters to choose from, your thickness, and then your color. So then you just swipe over the words that you would like to highlight. And if you accidentally make a mistake, of course, you can select the eraser and just tap to get rid of that. Number 4 is the eraser. It just says erase the red stars. The great thing about the eraser in Notability is you don't have to erase the whole thing. You just tap on the area that you want to erase and it erases them for you. So it makes erasing much faster. Number 5 is the scissor tool. This is for if you want to resize and move a drawing to fit or go somewhere else in your document. So I've selected the scissor tool and now I'm going to draw around the hearts. You get like the dancing ant red line, and now you can pinch it in, turn it, twist it, copy it. You can change the style. Maybe I want it purple this time or blue. I want it thicker. Now it looks like a big blob. Okay, and now I can drag it over into the box. Number 6 is inserting a photo from your camera roll. If you come up to the top and click the plus sign and select photo, photo would be from your camera roll, and take a photo would be you want to snap a picture right now. So I'm just going to select photo. Here's the photos that I have in my camera roll right now. So I'm just going to select the eagle. And then you get this toolbar when it first comes in. So if I made a mistake, I can delete it, copy it, cut it. It will move your text around, so you might want to think about disabling the text wrap so that it doesn't mess with the formatting of your text. I'm going to select Edit. And it'll take me into an editing screen. What this will allow me to do is crop the picture. So this is my crop tool here. So I maybe just want to crop it down to the eagle's beak and eye. It will also allow me to draw a frame around it. So if I select this little tool here in the corner, I can select the rectangle, and then I'm going to go ahead and change. This tool here would be to change your fill color and the outline color of your box. I'm going to select purple, and then I'm just going to draw a purple box around that area that I cropped. And when I'm done, I'm going to select Done up here in the right-hand corner, and it puts that right there in my note for me. Okay, number 7, inserting a figure works just the same as inserting a picture. You're going to select the plus sign, and this time you're going to select figure. So figure. And this tool up here in the corner will allow you to choose your shapes. So you'll need to select this tool anytime you want to move one of your shapes. This is like your freeform line, straight line, and so on. And so I'm going to select a rectangle. I found that it's easiest to change the color and the fill before you draw. So I'm going to change the fill to purple and the stroke or outline to yellow. And then this slide bar down here at the bottom changes the transparency of your shape. When you're done, just tap outside of that box and then you can draw your shape. If you need to move your shape or resize it, come back up here and select that first tool and then select the top 4 arrows. And then you can click on it and you have the option to resize it and move it around. When this figure goes into your notes, it's going to import all of this white area. So if you don't want that white area in your note, you need to use the cropping tool and crop that out. So I'm just going to crop that white area off a little bit so it doesn't take up so much of my note space. And when that's done, I'm going to select Done. and then it puts it into my notes. Again, you can turn off the text wrapping feature. So disable text wrap so it doesn't mess with your typing as much. 2-finger swipe down. I really like this feature. You can actually insert your favorite website. So what I did is I inserted Google, and if you click on that Google link, it will give you the option to open it as a browser. It's not showing up there. There you go. If you select browser, it actually opens Google, and then I can search for anything, just like I had Google open. And when I'm done with that, I can select done. So this would be helpful if you wanted to send the kids a note with a specific website in it. So to add one in, you're going to click the plus sign and then click web clip. So if you search for your favorite website, I'm just going to do Pinterest. You do have to put the .com. It's not as full-featured of a search as Google actually is. And there it is. So I'm just going to select done. And it inserts it as a little picture there into my notes. And then you'll notice that I also have the browser feature there that I can open it back up into the browser. Number 9 is add a sticky note and change the paper style. So again, I'm going to click the add or plus button up there, and I'm going to click stickies. You'll see that you have 4 different options of stickies. I'm just going to select one of them. And drag that below my text there. And then you have the option to change your paper. So I'm going to click paper. And you can see you can change the color of your paper. You can change, and you can have blank or lines or grids or whatever you would like to have there. And in order to actually write on it, you have to click off of it. So click anywhere outside of your sticky note, and now I can select my pen and write on top of the sticky note. And the last step is, and we actually did this in the very beginning, was to change the title of your note and then send it to me. You do not actually have to send this to me. If you'd like to practice emailing it to someone, by all means, go ahead. If not, I just want you to know how to send it, because there's a few options that you have there. So once you've changed the name, come up here and click your send to icon. And once that pops open, you'll see that you have the option of sending it through email. You can send it to your Dropbox, Google Drive, Twitter, etc. You can open it in other apps, lots of other things. But we're going to send it by email. You have to choose your format. So I'm going to select that so you can see the 3 options. A PDF, when you send a PDF through email, it's actually going to show up as a picture in that person's email. So it's read-only. They can't make any changes to it or anything like that. The RTF is a lot faster. It's a small document, but it's not going to include any of your handwriting or drawings on your notes. Pretty much we'll probably always use the note format or Notability's main format, just because it's easier for sharing. You can import it into Notability easy. You can write on it, grade it, send it back to the student in Notability, which is nice. If it were me, I would probably send a graded project back to a student as a PDF, just because they can't make any changes to it. And so I'm just going to put it in notes, and then you select email notes. It takes it just a minute to process that and pull up your email dialog box. There it is. And you select to. Of course, you type in who you're emailing it to. I'm just going to email it to myself, because I'm sure that none of you want a second copy. And send. And it's as simple as that. Of course, I didn't go over the microphone tool. You can add speaking recordings into your notes as well. And when you're done, you just select your little bookshelf here, and it will take you back to your main screen. In order to move your notes, it's a little tricky. You're going to select Edit on the left-hand side, And then you're going to select the note that you want to move. So I'm going to select a couple of notes here. You have to actually click on the picture of the note. And you'll get a little blue check mark there. And then you can just click and drag it over to the left to wherever you want it to be. So I'm going to move this into my social studies notes, and it drops them in there. So now when I click on my notes, those 3 notes that I selected to move are in there. So that's the very basics of Notability. If you need any other help, just email me, holler at me, or anything, and I'll do my best to answer those questions.